This season, obviously, the circumstances surrounding Justin Herbert's first start, not ideal. But once he gets in there and he has the season he has, throwing to spots, the ability to, it felt like even though he's more of a quiet, reserved guy, he was running guys over. He was celebrating, feel like he had good command of the team. You have to feel very good about Justin Herbert being the guy you selected last year in the first round and being the face of your franchise here for what, the next 15 years potentially.
It was really great seeing him develop the way that he did. And it was interesting because that first game that he went in and played against Kansas City, that was the first time his teammates and his coaches had ever seen him play live before because, training camp, we had no preseason games. We had no inter-squad scrimmages. And even in those, you don't hit, it's not full speed, full contact. So they saw him in training camp. They saw him throw the ball. But again, there's a pass rush, but he knows he's not going to get hit. So they hadn't seen him play live until that Kansas City game. And, he took it and just took off. And there was one play in that game where he scrambled to his right, and he took a big hit from one of their linebackers, and their linebacker hit the ground and was probably concussed.
Sleep,
down for a while, and Justin got up, stepped over, walked back to the huddle, and our sideline was like, wow. So that kind of, you have to see those things. His teammates need to see that and to see the type, and that's how you start to lead, when they see, what your toughness level is, how you handle your in-game situations, and it just kind of grew from week to week after that.
Tom, evaluating quarterbacks on whether or not they'll be able to transition, which, by the way, I would assume that's why a lot of the players on the team were like, well, we haven't seen them live. And we've all seen quarterbacks that are great in college. Then for some reason, when they get in the NFL, they just can't figure it out. When you were evaluating Justin Herbert, what are some things that made you go like, okay, I think this guy's game, there's a likelihood that this guy's game will transition into the NFL. Not that they all will. I mean, there's a long, long list of people that have not made it. But what were some traits you think you saw from him in college or in a meeting with him that whenever he got to the NFL, he would do exactly what he did? Was there anything you could kind of put your finger on?
Well, I'll tell you what, our scouts did a great job. Kevin Kelly and the whole staff, we had scouted him very hard for 2 years, really, because we thought maybe he would declare the year before. So we were preparing like he may declare for the draft. So we've done 2 years of really heavy research on him. And it's like trying to put a puzzle together. I mean, the projection from any position in college to the professional level is difficult to make. With quarterbacks, it's even harder. But with Justin, you just start with the intangible part of it, as far as his makeup, his intelligence level, his football intelligence, his work ethic, his drive. It was all exactly what you would want in a franchise quarterback. So that was the first thing. And then you look at the physical skills that he had, his size, his athletic ability, his arm strength, his release. That all goes together. And then in college, I mean, they won a lot of games there. He didn't turn the ball over, and they showed that same thing here. Knock on wood, he protects the football, but can still make some big plays. But he led his team, and he did it in different ways at Oregon. He did it with his feet, did it by running. And he tried to put the whole package together and try and figure out, does he have enough traits that we think he'll project to this level? We thought he did, and he's turned out very well so far.
When he cut his hair, did you think he was going to suck or what?
When I got home, my kids weren't happy about it. His hair was to start with. So, yeah, that was an interesting moment. Didn't change anything, though. Still played the same.
Yeah, I'd say you guys got some wins after that. The year you guys were in so many games, I mean, it had to be heartbreaking as a fan, but I would assume as a general manager as well. There were so many games we thought you all were going to win. Like watching every game, Herbert was getting hot, making decisions. It was like, all right, they're in it. They're up 4 at this point with a certain amount they got this left. And then you guys started winning games, by the way. 4 out of the last 5, I think it really started going there. What do you think it was that kind of took it to the next step? How did you guys learn? How do you think the locker room learned how to win? What do you think it was? And you expect to see more of that, but how does that carry into next year, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a credit to the coaching staff that was here last year. The guys continued to play hard, even though we had a bad loss to New England late in the year, very bad loss. And at that point, we were out of it. We weren't in the playoff race. We still had 4 games to go. The guys came into work every day with the same attitude, and you saw improvement. And then when you get a win, you start seeing some results. And like you said, we had a lot of games this year where our offense, a 2-minute situation, you could drive down and get points. And that's for a rookie quarterback, that's hard to do. 2-minute situations, red zone, those are 2 things for a rookie quarterback that are very difficult at this level. You have to kind of grow into it. but guys continue to play hard. So I think we have a nice base foundation here, built by Anthony Lynn. Now we get to continue to kind of grow in that, keep building that up with this new staff. It's exciting. It's going to be a lot of change on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game. But we're excited. It's going to be a new Chargers team as we move into 221, but we're excited about it.